Thank you for joining me today. It's Feel Good Friday, and many of us are at home. For those of you joining me now or later, I appreciate your time. We're going to go over a common problem in general that's probably being accelerated a little bit by sitting at home. We're going to talk about being bunged up and relieving constipation with the aid of whole body vibration. We're going to work on 4 very basic positions today. As always, I have the settings for your machines posted in the comments today, so I'm going to talk about that less and focus more on technique and positions. We're going to do a bit of a warm-up, and we're going to run the machine just at a feel-good frequency. Feet are going to be about hip width apart. If you're dealing with joint mobility issues, aches and pains, you may want to reduce the amount of amplitude or distance between your feet to reduce the intensity. I'm losing my head, I see in the one camera, but we're going to get down on the ground for some massage, and I wanted you to see that later. We're going to warm up with our standard pelvic tilt. We're going to tilt those bums forward, backward, maybe some little circles. Just get some movement in that core area. If you're dealing with digestion, any immune issues, Crohn's, colitis, any gut health issues, vibration and just keeping that area loose and limber is going to benefit you in the long run. The next position we're going to roll into is a low back stance. And what I want you to do, because we're targeting the hip and the spine, is bring your feet a little bit closer to center on a pivotal. Keep your amplitude low on your vertical. And we're just going to lean over. Nice straight spine. If you have a machine with handles or you're using the back of a chair, you can rest your hands on the handles. For this position, I'm just going to let my arms dangle and my knees are just undone. If your feet are quite close together, you might want to lock your knees just to get into this position. But as you widen up and get a little more intensity, make sure those knees are unlocked, and you'll feel the vibration primarily in that low back, in the tummy, the bowel area. And, just a real slow churning kind of frequency. You're going to feel the movement in the core. You could add a pelvic tilt, maybe some little movement into this position, swinging left or right. Kind of target what feels good to you. The next position we're going to get into may require a mat, depending on what type of machine that you're using. We're going to get on our knees. And just going to get into down on all fours, kind of like your cat-cow position from yoga. Knees are about hip width apart. Again, if you're dealing with hip issues, you may want to reduce the distance between your knees, but you're going to feel this a little deeper, a little more direct to the area we're trying to target. You could, again, add some movement in that pelvic region. Maybe shift your weight left or right. Any of these positions, the first 3 that we've covered, were 30 seconds to a minute max, just using a relaxation, a low frequency on these. The last position we're going to target is kind of a no-brainer. It's sitting on the platform. Anyone using vibration machines now knows that constipation or relieving constipation is probably your #1 side effect. The next position we're going to do, and you'll notice I've got the controls between my legs. When you're sitting on the platform, it's pretty common to hit the buttons with your butt. So on this one, you can sit straight up. You'll feel it more throughout the neck and the shoulders. I prefer a higher setting. I would suggest bringing it up to a more tonic frequency on your pivotal and a little bit higher on your vertical platform. And if you're finding it too intense or too shaky on the head, tilt your head forward or lean forward slightly. Sitting 1 to 2 minutes in this fashion, really any time if you're targeting constipation. This again, when you're sitting on the platform, it's kind of a combo. There's going to be other things going on. We're relieving tension in the hamstrings. You could turn it into more of a stretch. We've covered some sciatic stretches, but just by being on the platform and utilizing your frequencies for a minute or two, is the constipation or keeping you regular is really just a side effect of using these machines, or a side benefit, as we like to call it. If this is a chronic concern for you, you might want to do this 2-3 times a day when you're first starting out, just to sort of get things moving. As a maintenance piece, 1 to 2 a day. I've got a lot of people using the machine, more frequently in short feel-good sessions. It's not always a workout. And if you are dealing with, lots of sitting, you're inactive, or maybe some medications are causing some concerns, movement, when we move, lymph moves, this is just another option that's going to get a little bit more direct into the stomach and the bowels, which we're trying to clean out with today's session. Thank you for joining us today. I wish you a great weekend. Stay safe out there and keep moving at home.